while turning the globe, you will notice that the dark part, that means from west side to east side, if you rotate the globe, you will see that some diffuse light. That means before sunrising, what light we see or we observe, like that the diffuse light you will see, and this diffuse light is called the dawn. Diffuse light is called the dawn. It is called the dawn. And rotate the globe further. That means you will continue to rotate the globe in front of the bulb. You will notice that now A has sunshine. That means while rotating continuously, you are rotating, so you will see that this part, first diffuse light you will see, and after that the sunshine you will get. So on further rotation of the globe, air will face the bulb. That means this portion will come here and it is directly in front of the bulb. In front of the bulb, that means it is the daytime or noon time. That means it is the face to face of the bulb, or if we think as an earth, so we are in front of the sun directly, that is the noon time. So as we continue to rotate, we will notice darkness approaching. That means while rotating continuously, we will see that again the darkness is coming. At this position, it is not completely dark, but a diffuse light we will see, and this diffuse light after the sunset, that means while rotating, when it will become dark, it is called the dusk. That means not fully dark, a diffuse light we will see, and it is called the dusk or twilight. When air reaches exactly the opposite side of the bulb, it is midnight. That means while rotating this dark part, when it will go exactly opposite of the light, it is midnight. So this is called the circle of illumination. Now the length of day and night. So we notice that the length of days and nights is not the same throughout the year. So it is not all the time same throughout the year. This variation is due to the inclination of the Earth's axis. That means due to the inclination. So this line I have given here vertical, but it is not vertical, it is inclined. So inclined, it is like that inclined, this axis, and due to this inclination, so due to this inclination, the northern hemisphere, it is the northern hemisphere, and it is the middle, what it is, equator. So this is the equator and this is the axis, and due to this inclination, this northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere, so this northern hemisphere so remain inclined towards the sun. So this portion always inclined towards the sun and gets more light. That means half of the year it gets sun and the southern hemisphere during the other half. The North Pole is always inclined. So this North Pole is always inclined towards the sun, and this part is little away from the sun, southern part. Thus a larger part of the northern hemisphere, that means this larger part of the northern hemisphere receives sunlight. So this part, northern hemisphere, gets the sunlight more. This results in longer days and shorter nights in the northern hemisphere. So that is why the days are longer and nights are shorter in the northern hemisphere. It is the reverse in the southern hemisphere. So same, it is opposite in the southern hemisphere. The south pole is inclined towards the sun and the north pole is turned away from the sun. So thus a larger part of the southern hemisphere receives sunlight. So same things it is happening while rotating. While rotating the earth, same thing returning. That means it is the opposite of northern hemisphere and a larger part of the southern hemisphere. So here the southern hemisphere, the larger part of the southern hemisphere receives sunlight. So this results in longer days and shorter nights in the southern hemisphere. So it is the reverse in the northern hemisphere during this time. So while rotating, you will see that this line is this way. So while rotating, a larger part comes in front of the sun and it gets the light more, that is the days are longer and nights are shorter. So throughout the year the length of days and nights is equal at the equator. That means the places which are there on the equator, they only get the equal days and equal nights. That means it is of 24 hours, 12 hours days and 12 hours nights. Now revolution of the earth, how it revolves around the sun. So the earth, while rotating on its axis, also revolves around the sun. So that we discussed earlier, that the earth not only rotates but also it revolves around the sun. This motion of earth is called revolution. So this is called revolution. That means moving around the sun. It is called revolution. The earth revolves around the sun from west side to east side. So it revolves from west side to east side. The speed of the earth's revolution is about 30 km per second. So in 1 second the speed of the earth is 30 km. The earth takes 365 days, 5 hours and 48 minutes to complete one revolution around the sun. The time taken by the earth to go around the sun once is called a year. So this 365 days, 5 hours, 48 minutes and 56 seconds, when it completes the revolution, it is called 1 year. Thus revolution is also called the annual motion of the earth. That means 1 year it completes within this time, and it is called the annual motion of the earth. For our convenience, we generally count only 365 days. The balance of about 6 hours. So that generally we do not count. So this 6 hours is computed to one extra day every 4 years. So every 4 years it completes a day. That means 4 years, and if you multiply by 6, that means it is 24 hours. It completes after 4 years. So thus February has 29 days. So this way, when it completes 4 years, so one more days we get, and this year it has 29 days in February month, and that year has 366 days. So such a year is called a leap year. So this type of year is called a leap year. And the extra day in the month of February is called a leap day. That means in that year the month of February is 29 days, and generally we have 28 days in February. So this extra days, if we include, it becomes 366 days. The path along which the earth revolves around the sun is called the orbit. So while revolving, it follows its path. It is called orbit. That means the earth does not move anywhere. It has a fixed path. On that path it revolves, and it is called the orbit. And this path is always fixed. It is not changing. That sometimes it is going that side, sometimes it is going that side. It is not like that. One fixed path is there, and on that path the earth continues to move around. The length of the orbit is about 965 million kilometer. So 965 million kilometer it revolves around the sun, and it completes one revolution in 1 year. That is the revolution. Since the orbit is elliptical, so it is not fully circle, it is elliptical. That means it is flattering at the top, and it is elliptical in shape. So when the distance between the earth and the sun is minimum, so though it is not fully circle, it is elliptical in shape. That means like oval we can say. So when it becomes very closer to the sun, the distance is about 146 million kilometer. The earth is said to be in perihelion. Perihelion, that means when the distance of earth and sun is 146 million kilometer. It is the shortest distance of the earth in front of the sun, and it is called the perihelion. Peri means near, and helios means the sun. So it is closest to the sun. So the sun is at this position on or around 4 January every year. That means near about 4 January it becomes very closer to the sun, the earth. When the distance between the earth and the sun is maximum, so as we know that the shape is elliptical, so once it will be the longer distance, and when the distance is more, You can see the picture in your book, page number 105, figure number 3.7. You will understand why the distance is more and when it is closer to the sun. So when the distance is more, it is called aphelion. Ap means away and helios again means sun. So this time the earth is the longest distance. It is not closest. Now the distance is the highest distance from the sun and it is called aphelion. The sun is at the position on or around 4 July every year. So the day is 4 July. So 4 July it is the longest distance from the sun and the 4th January it is the shortest distance from the sun. So this distance between the earth and the sun varies only by about 3% during one complete revolution. So it may differ but only 3% during one complete revolution. So while revolving it varies only 3% of its revolution. Thus the average distance between the earth and the sun is about 148.5 million kilometers. So it is the average distance. That means if we count the average, we will find that 148.5 million kilometers. I think all of you are now clear, and if you go through the book, the pictures are also given, so you will understand very clearly, and if you follow the videos, so you will clear or your doubts will be clear. So we have discussed today circle of illumination, length of day and night, and revolution of the earth. So these three things you study at home, go through the book, you will understand better. Next we will discuss effects of the earth's revolution. Now what is the effects of the earth revolution, phenomenon of seasons? These two things we will discuss in our next class. So for today let us conclude here. Thank you.